Hath Bolingbroke deposed thine intellect? Hath he been in thy heart? The lion dying thrust us forth. I had trouble with this line before. The lion dying... What?
Hello, friends. Happy, well, for me, it's Monday. And we've come to the end, again, of Richard II. So, shall I give you the story so far? Richard's not king anymore. That's Henry Bolingbroke. I just found out Bolingbroke was his nickname because he was born in Bolingbroke Castle. But now he's Henry IV. Richard has been led to, well, he's about to be taken to the Tower by order of the king, because what else are you going to do with an ex-king? Well, we'll find out in this act. The Queen's still knocking about. Bolingbroke and Richard's uncle York is still knocking about. York's son O'Merle has been accused by a former favourite of Richard, Bagot, of wanting Bolingbroke dead, but that came to nothing in the end. It's very warm at the moment. That's my video diary. This is Act 5 of Richard II. Ta-da! Scene 1. Enter the Queen with her ladies.
This way the king will come. This is the way to Julius Caesar's ill-erected tower, to whose flint bosom my condemned lord is doomed a prisoner by proud Bolingbroke. Here let us rest, if this rebellious earth have any resting for her true king's queen. Enter Richard and guard. But soft, but see, or rather do not see, my fair rose wither, yet look up, behold, the dew in pity may dissolve to dew, and wash him fresh again with true love tears. Ah, thou the model where old Troy did stand, thou map of honour, thou King Richard's tomb, and not King Richard, thou most beauteous inn! Why should hard-favoured grief be lodged in thee when triumph is become an ale-house guest? Richard. Join not with grief, fair woman, do not so, to make my end too sudden. Learn, good soul, to think our former state a happy dream, from which await the truth of what we are shows us but this. I am sworn brother, sweet, to grim necessity, and he and I will keep a league till death. Hie thee to France, and cloister thee in some religious house. Our holy lives must win a new world's crown, which our profane hours here have stricken down. What? Is my Richard both in shape and mind transformed and weakened? Hath Bolingbroke deposed thine intellect? Hath he been in thy heart? The lion dying thrusteth forth his paw, and wounds the earth, if nothing else, with rage to be o'erpowered. And wilt thou, pupil-like, take the correction, mildly kiss the rod, and fawn on rage with base humility, which art a lion, and the king of beasts? A king of beasts, indeed, if aught but beasts I had been still a happy king of men. Good, sometimes, queen, prepare thee hence for France. Think I am dead, and that even here thou takest, as from my deathbed, thy last living leave. And in winter's tedious nights, sit by the fire with good old folks, and let them tell thee tales of woeful ages long ago betid, and ere thou bid good night to quit their griefs, tell thou the lamentable fall of me, and send the hearers weeping to their beds. For why, the senseless brands will sympathize the heavy accent of thy moving tongue, and in compassion weep the fire out, and some will mourn in ashes, some coal black, for the deposing of a rightful king. Enter the Earl of Northumberland. My lord, the mind of Bolingbroke is changed. You must to Pomfret, not unto the Tower. And, madam, there is order detained for you. With all swift speed you must away to France. Northumberland, the ladder wherewithal the mounting Bolingbroke ascends my throne. The time shall not be many hours of age more than it is, ere foul sin gathering head shall break into corruption. Thou shalt think, though he divide the realm and give thee half, it is too little helping him to all. He shall think that thou, which knowest the way to plant unrightful kings, will know again, being ne'er so little urged another way, to pluck him headlong from the usurped throne. The love of wicked friends converts to fear, that fear to hate, and hate turns one or both to worthy danger and deserved death. All my guilt be on my head, and there an end. Take leave and part, for you must part forthwith. Doubly divorced bad men! You violate a twofold marriage twixt my crown and me, And then betwixt me and my married wife, let me unkiss the oath twixt thee and me, and yet not so, for with a kiss 'twas made.
Part us, Northumberland, I towards the north, where shivering cold and sickness pines the clime. My queen to France, from whence set forth in pomp she came adorned hither,
Like sweet May,
sent back like Hallowmas or shortst of day.
And must we be divided? Must we part?
Aye, hand from hand, my love, and heart from heart.
Well, banish us both, and send the king with me.
That were some love, but little policy.
Well, then whither he goes, thither let me go. So two together weeping make one woe. Weep thou for me in France, I for thee here. Better far off than near, be near than nearer. Go, count thy way with sighs, I mine with groans. So longest way shall have the longest moans.
Well, twice for one step I'll groan,
the way being short, and peace the way out with a heavy heart. Come, come, in wooing sorrow let's be brief, since wedding it there is such length in grief. One kiss shall stop our mouths, and dumbly part. Thus give I mine, and thus take I thy heart.
They kiss.
Give me mine own again. 'Twere no good part to take on me to keep and kill thy heart.
They kiss.
So now I have my own again. Be gone, that I may strive to kill it with a groan.
We make woe wanton with this fond delay.
Once more, adieu. The rest let sorrows say.
Exeunt. Richard guarded and Northumberland at one door, the Queen and her ladies at another door. Scene 2. Enter the Duke and Duchess of York. Duchess of York.
My lord, you told me you would tell the rest when weeping made you break the story off of our two cousins coming into London.
Where did I leave?
At that sad stop, my lord, where rude misgoverned hands from windows tops threw dust and rubbish on King Richard's head.
Then, as I said, the Duke great Bolingbroke, mounted upon a hot and fiery steed, which his aspiring rider seemed to know, with slow but stately pace kept on his course, whilst all tongues cried, God save thee, Bolingbroke! You would have thought the very windows spake, so many greedy looks of young and old through casements darted their desiring eyes upon his visage, and that all the walls with painted imagery had said at once, Jesu preserve thee, welcome, Bolingbroke, whilst he, from the one side to the other, turning, bareheaded, lower than his proud steed's neck, bespake them thus, I thank thee, countryman, and thus still doing, thus he passed along.
Alack, poor Richard, where rode he the whilst?
As in a theatre, the eyes of men after a well-graced actor leaves the stage, are idly bent on him that enters next, thinking his prattle to be tedious, even so, or with much more contempt, men's eyes did scowl on gentle Richard. No man cried, God save him, no joyful tongue gave him his welcome home, but dust was thrown upon his sacred head, which with such gentle sorrow he shook off, his face still combating with tears and smiles the badges of his grief and patience, that had not God for some strong purpose steeled the hearts of men, they must perforce have melted, and barbarism itself have pitied him. But heaven hath a hand in these events, to whose high will we bound a calm contents. To Bolingbroke are we sworn subjects now, whose state and honour eye for eye allow.
Enter the Duke of O'Merle. Here comes my son, O'Merle.
O'Merle that was, but that is lost for being Richard's friend, and madam, you must call him Rutland now. I am in Parliament pledged for his truth and lasting fealty to the new-made king.
Welcome, my son. Who are the violets now that strew the green lap of the new-come spring?
O'Merle,
madam, I know not, nor I greatly care not. God knows I had as lief be none as one.
Well, bear you well in this new spring of time, lest you be cropped before you come to prime. What news from Oxford? Hold these jousts and triumphs?
For aught I know, my lord, they do.
Well, you will be there, I know.
If a God prevent it not, I purpose so.
What seal is that hangs without thy bosom?
Yea, he looks thou pale.
Let me see the writing.
My lord, 'tis nothing. Well, no matter then, who see it? I will be satisfied. Let me see the writing. I do beseech your grace to pardon me. It's a matter of small consequence, which for some reasons I would not have seen. Which for some reasons, sir, I mean to see. I fear. What should be your fear? 'Tis nothing but some bond that he has entered into for gay apparel gainst the triumph day. Bound to himself? What doth he with a bond that he is bound to? Wife, thou art a fool. Boy, let me see the writing. I do beseech you, pardon me, I may not show it. I will be satisfied. Let me see it, I say. He plucks it out of O'Merle's bosom and reads it. Treason! Foul treason! Villain! Traitor! Slave! What is the matter, my lord? Who is within there? Saddle my horse! God for his mercy, what treachery is here? Why, what is it, my lord? Give me my boots, I say! Saddle my horse! Now, by mine honour, by my life, my troth, I will impeach the villain! What is the matter? Peace, foolish woman! I will not peace! What is the matter, son? Good mother, be content. It is no more than my poor life must answer. Thy life answer? Bring me my boots, I will unto the king! His man enters with the boots. Strike him, O'Merle! Poor boy, thou art amazed. To York's man. Hence, villain! Never more come in my sight. Give me my boots, I say! Why, York, what wilt thou do? Wilt thou not hide the trespass of thine own? Have we more sons? Or are we like to have? Is not my teeming date drunk up with time? And wilt thou pluck my fair son from mine age, and rob me of my happy mother's name? Well, is he not like thee? Is he not thine own? Thou fond mad woman, wilt thou conceal this dark conspiracy? A dozen of them here have ta'en the sacrament to interchangeably set down their hands to kill the king at Oxford. Well, he shall be none. We'll keep him here, then what is that to him? Away, fond woman! Were he 20 times my son, I would impeach him. Hast thou groaned for him, as I have done, thou wouldst be more pitiful. But now I know thy mind. Thou dost suspect that I have been disloyal to thy bed, and that he's a bastard, not thy son. Sweet York, sweet husband, be not of that mind. He is as like thee as a man may be, not like to me or any of my kin, and yet I love him. Make way, unruly woman! Exit with his man. After, O'Merle, mount thee upon his horse, spur, post, and get before him to the king, and beg thy pardon ere he do accuse thee. I'll not be long behind, though I be old, I doubt not but to ride as fast as York, and never will I rise up from the ground till Bolingbroke have pardoned thee. Away, be gone! Exeunt severally. Scene 3. Enter Bolingbroke, crowned King Henry, and Harry Percy, and other nobles. King Henry. Can no man tell me of my unthrifty son? 'Tis full 3 months since I did see him last. If any plague hung over us, 'tis he. I would to God, my lord, he might be found. Inquire at London, amongst the taverns there, for there they say he daily doth frequent with unrestrained loose companions, even such, they say, as stand in narrow lanes, and beat our watch and rob our passengers, which he, young, wanton, and effeminate boy, takes on the point of honour to support so dissolute a crew. Harry Percy. My lord, some 2 days since I saw the prince, and told him of these triumphs held at Oxford. And what said the gallant? His answer was he would unto the stews, and from the commonest creature pluck a glove, and wear it as a favour, and with that he would unhorse the lustiest challenger, as dissolute as desperate. Yet, through both, I see some sparks of better hope, which elder days may happily bring forth. Enter the Duke of O'Merle, amazed. But who comes here? Where is the king? What means our cousin that he stares and looks so wildly? O'Merle kneeling. God save your grace! I do beseech your majesty to have some conference with your grace alone. King Henry to lords. Withdraw yourselves and leave us here alone. Exeunt all but King Henry and O'Merle. What is the matter with our cousin now? Forever may my knees grow to the earth, my tongue cleave to the roof within my mouth, unless a pardon, ere I rise or speak. Intended or committed was this fault. If on the first, how heinous ere it be, to win thy after love, I pardon thee. Then give me leave that I may turn the key, that no man enter till my tale be done. Have thy desire. O'Merle locks the door. The Duke of York knocks on the door and crieth, My liege, beware! Look to thyself, thou hast a traitor in thy presence there! King Henry draws his sword. Villain, I'll make thee safe. Stay thy revengeful hand! Thou hast no cause to fear. Open the door, secure, foolhardy king! Shall I for love speak treason to thy face? Open the door, or I will break it open! King Henry opens the door. Enter the Duke of York. What is the matter, uncle? Speak! recover breath. Tell us how near is danger, that we may arm as true encounter it. Peruse this writing here, and thou shalt know the treason that my haste forbids me show. Remember as thou readst the promise past, I do repent me. Read not my name there, my heart is not confederate with my hand. It was villain ere thy hand did set it down. I tore it from the traitor's bosom, king. Fear and not love begets his penitence. Forget to pity him, lest pity prove a serpent that will sting thee to the heart. Oh, heinous strong and bold conspiracy. O loyal father of a treacherous son, thou sheer, immaculate and silver fountain, from whence this stream through muddy passages hath held his current and defiled himself. Thy overflow of good converts to bad, and thy abundant goodness shall excuse this deadly blot in thy digressing son. So shall my virtue be his vice's board, and he shall spend mine honour with his shame, as thriftless sons their scraping father's gold. Mine honour lives when his dishonour dies, or my shamed life in his dishonour lies. For thou kill'st me in his life, giving him breath, the traitor lives, the true man's put to death. What ho, my liege, for God's sake let me in. What shrill voice suppliant makes this eager cry? A woman, and thy aunt, great king, 'tis I. Speak with me, pity me, open the door. A beggar begs that never begged before. Our scene is altered from a serious thing and now changed to the beggar and the king. My dangerous cousin, let your mother in. I know she's come to pray for your foul sin. A Merle opens the door. Enter the Duchess of York. York, if thou do pardon, or whomsoever, pray, more sins for this forgiveness prosper may. This festered joint cut off, the rest sound. This let alone will all the rest confound. Duchess of York, kneeling. O king, believe not this hard-hearted man. Love loving not itself, none other can. Thou frantic woman, what dost thou make here? Shall thy old dugs once more a traitor rear? Sweet York, be patient! Hear me, gentle liege. Rise up, good aunt. Not yet, I thee beseech. Forever will I kneel upon my knees, and never see day that the happy sees, till thou give joy, until thou bid me joy by pardoning Rutland, my transgressing boy. Merle, kneeling. Unto my mother's prayers I bend my knee. York, kneeling. Will against them both my true joints bended be. Ill mayest thou thrive if thou grant any grace. Pleads he in earnest? Look upon his face. His eyes do drop no tears. His prayers are in jest. His words come from his mouth, ours from our breast. He prays but faintly, and would be denied. We pray with heart and soul, and all beside. His weary joints would gladly rise, I know. Our knees shall kneel till to the ground they grow. His prayers are full of false hypocrisy, ours of true zeal and deep integrity. Our prayers do outpray his. Then let them have their mercy which true prayer ought to have. Good aunt, stand up. Nay, do not say stand up. Say pardon first, and afterwards stand up. And if I were thy nurse, thy tongue to teach, pardon should be the first word of thy speech. I never longed to hear a word till now. Say pardon, king. Let pity teach thee how. The word is short, but not so short as sweet. No word like pardon for king's mouth so meet. I speak it in French, king. Say pardonnez-moi. Dost thou teach pardon? Pardon to destroy? Oh, my sour husband, my hard-hearted lord, that sets the word itself against the word. Speak pardon as 'tis current in our land. This chopping French we do not understand. Thine eye begins to speak. Set thy tongue there, or in thy piteous heart plant thou thine ear, that hearing how our plaints and prayers do pierce, pity may move thee pardon to rehearse. Good aunt, stand up. I do not sue to stand. Pardon is all the suit I have in hand. I pardon him, as God shall pardon me. York and O'Merle rise. Oh, happy vantage of a kneeling knee. Yet I am sick for fear. Speak it again. Twice saying pardon doth not pardon twain, but makes one pardon strong. I pardon him with all my heart. Duchess of York, rising. A god on earth thou art. But for our trusty brother-in-law and the abbot, with all the rest of that consorted crew, destruction straight shall dog them at the heels. Good uncle, help to order several powers to Oxford, or where'er these traitors are. They shall not live within this world, I swear, but I will have them if I once know where. Uncle, farewell, and cousin, adieu. Your mother well hath prayed, and prove you true. Come, my old son, I pray God make thee new.
Exeunt King Henry at one door, York, the Duchess of York, and Earl at another door. Scene 4. Enter Sir Piers Exton, who we haven't met before, and his men. Exton, didst thou not mark the king, what words he spake? Have I no friend will rid me of this living fear? Was it not so? Those were his very words. Have I no friend, quoth he. He spake it twice, and urged it twice together, did he not? He did, and speaking it, he wishly looked on me, as who should say, I would thou wert the man that would divorce this terror from my heart, meaning the king at Pomfret. Come, let's go. I am the king's friend, and will rid his foe. Exeunt. Scene 5. Enter Richard, alone. I have been studying how I may compare this prison where I live unto the world. And because the world is populous, and here is not a creature but myself, I cannot do it. Yet I'll hammer it out. My brain I'll prove the female to my soul the father, and these two beget a generation of still breeding thoughts. And these same thoughts people this little world in humours like the people of this world, for no thought is contented. The better sort, as thoughts of things divine, are intermixed with scruples, and do set the faith itself against the faith, as thus, come, little ones, and then again, it is as hard to come as for a camel to thread the postern of a small needle's eye. Thoughts tending to ambition, they do plot unlikely wonders, how these vain, weak nails may tear a passage through the flinty ribs of this hard world, my ragged prison walls, and, for they cannot, die in their own pride. Thoughts tending to content flatter themselves that they are not the first of fortune's slaves, nor shall not be the last, like seely beggars who, sitting in the stocks, refuge their shame that many have, and others must, set there, and in this sort they find a kind of ease, bearing their own misfortunes on the back of such as have before endured the like. Thus play I in one person many people, and none contented. Sometimes am I king, and then treason makes me wish myself a beggar, and so I am. Then crushing penury persuades me I was better when a king. Then I am kinged again, and by think that I am unkinged by Bolingbroke, and straight am nothing. But whate'er I be, nor I, nor any man that but man is, who with nothing shall be pleased till he be eased with being nothing. Music do I hear? Ha! Keep time! How sour sweet music is when time is broken, no proportion kept. So is it in the music of men's lives. And here have I the daintiness of ear to check time broken at disordered string, but for the concord of my state and time had not an ear to hear my true time broke. I wasted time, and now doth time waste me. For now hath time made me his numbering clock. My thoughts are minutes, and with sighs they jar their watches on unto mine eyes the outward watch, whereto my finger like a dial's point is pointing still in cleansing them from tears. Now, sir, the sounds that tell what hour it is are clamorous groans that strike upon my heart, which is the bell. So sighs and tears and groans show minutes, hours, and times. But my time runs posting on in Bolingbroke's proud joy, while I stand fooling here is Jack of the clock. This music mads me, let it sound no more. For though it have hold madmen to their wits, in me it seems it will make wise men mad. Yet blessing on his heart that gives it me, for 'tis a sign of love, and love to Richard is a strange brooch in this all-hating world. Enter a groom of the stable. Hail, royal prince! Thanks, noble peer. The cheapest of us is 10 groats too dear. What art thou, and how comest thou hither, where no man never comes but that sad dog that brings me food to make misfortune live? I am a poor groom of thy stable, king, when thou wert king, who, travelling towards York, with much ado at length have gotten leave to look upon my sometimes royal master's face. Oh, how it earned my heart when I beheld in London streets that coronation day when Bolingbroke rode on roan Barbary, that horse that thou so often hast bestrid, that horse that I so carefully have dressed. Rode he on Barbary? Tell me, gentle friend, how went he under him? So proudly as if he disdained the ground. Proud that Bolingbroke was on his back. That jade hath eat bread from my royal hand. This hand hath made him proud with clapping him. Would he not stumble? Would he not fall down? Since pride must have a fall, and break the neck of that proud man that did usurp his back? Oh, forgiveness, horse. Why do I rail on thee, since thou created to be awed by man, wast born to bear? I was not made a horse, and yet I bear a burden like an ass, spur golden, tired by jouncing Bolingbroke. Enter keeper to Richard, with meat. Oh, fellow, give place. Here's no longer stay. Oh, if thou lovest me, 'tis time thou wert away. What my tongue dares not, that my heart shall say. Exit. Keeper. My lord, will please you to fall to? Taste of it first, as thou wast wont to do. My lord, I dare not. Sir Piers of Exton, who lately came from the king, commands the contrary. The devil take Henry of Lancaster and thee! Patience is stale, and I am weary of it. Keeper. Help! 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 Exton and his men rush in. How now? What means death in this rude assault? Richard seizes a weapon from a man and kills him. Villain, thy own hand yields thy death's instrument. Richard kills another. Go thou and fill another room in hell. Here Exton strikes him down. That hand shall burn in never-quenching fire that staggers thus my person. Exton, thy fierce hand hath with the king's blood stained the king's own land. Mount, mount, my soul, thy seat is up on high, whilst my gross flesh sinks downward here to die. He dies, as full of valour as of royal blood. Both have I spilt. Oh, would the deed were good, for now the devil that told me I did well says that this deed is chronicled in hell. This dead king to the living king I'll bear. Take hence the rest and give them burial here. Exeunt. Exeunt with Richard's body at one door, and his men with the other bodies at another door. Scene 6. Flourish. Enter King Henry and the Duke of York with other lords and attendants. Kind Uncle York, the latest news we hear is that the rebels have consumed with fire our towns of Chichester and Gloucestershire, but whether they be ta'en or slain we hear not. Enter the Earl of Northumberland. Welcome, my lord, what is the news? First, to thy sacred state wish I all happiness. The next news is, I have to London sent the heads of Salisbury, Spencer, Blunt, and Kent. The manner of their taking may appear at large discoursed in this paper. Here, he gives the paper to King Henry. We thank thee, gentle Percy, for thy pains, and to thy worth will add right worthy gains. Enter Lord Fitzwalter. My lord, I have from Oxford sent to London the heads of Brockus and Sir Bennet Seeley, two of the dangerous consorted traitors that sought at Oxford thy dire overthrow.
Thy pains, Fitzwalter, shall not be forgot. Right noble is thy merit, well I wot.
Enter Harry Percy with the Bishop of Carlisle, guarded.
The grand conspirator Abbot of Westminster, with clog of conscience and Sarah melancholy, hath yielded up his body to the grave. But here is Carlisle living, to abide thy kingly doom and sentence of his pride. Carlisle, this is your doom. Choose out some secret place, some reverend room, more than thou hast, and with it joy thy life. So as thou livest in peace, die free from strife. For though mine enemy thou hast ever been, high sparks of honour in thee have I seen.
Enter Exton with his men bearing the coffin.
Great King, within this coffin I present thy buried fear. Herein all breathless lies the mightiest of thy greatest enemies, Richard of Bordeaux, by me hither brought.
Exton,
I thank thee not, for thou hast wrought a deed of slander with thy fatal hand upon my head and all this famous land. From your own mouth, my lord, did I this deed. They love not poison that do poison need. Nor do I thee, though I did wish him dead. I hate the murderer, love him murdered. The guilt of conscience take thou for thy labour, but neither my good word nor princely favour. With Cain go wander through the shades of night, and never show thy head by day nor light.
Exton and his men.
Lords, I protest my soul is full of woe, that blood should sprinkle me to make me grow. Come, mourn with me for what I do lament, and put on sullen black, incontinent. I'll make a voyage to the Holy Land, to wash this blood off from my guilty hand. March sadly after, grace my mornings here in weeping after this untimely bier. Exeunt with the coffin. And that is the end of Richard II. Thank you so much for watching. Next week, Henry IV, Part 1. What shall I put up? Well, when I've done it, Act 1 of Henry IV, Part 1 will go up there. That's what the last run of Act 5 of Richard II looked like. There's all of Richard II, and below is a link to a tip jar if you want to stick something in my Ko-Fi. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your comments. I hope you are all doing tremendously. Have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye-bye.